How risky it is to have a personal server with SSH open to the internet. Title continuation would be while having limited knowledge of internet security. I have recently set up a small server with a low-end computer running Debian with the aim to use it as a personal Git repository. I have enabled SSH and was quite surprised at the promptness at which it suffered from brute force attacks and the like. Then I read that this is quite common and learned about basic security measures to ward off these attacks. Lots of questions and duplicates on server fault deal with it, see for instance this one or this one. But now I am wondering if all this is worth the effort. I decided to set up my own server mostly for fun. I could just rely on third-party solutions such as those offered by gitbucket.org, bettercodes.org, etc. While part of the fun is about learning about internet security, I have not enough time to dedicate to it to become an expert and be almost certain that I took the correct prevention measures. In order to decide if I will continue to play with this toy project, I would like to know what I really risk in doing so. For instance, in what extent are the other computers connected to my network threatened as well? Some of these computers are used by people with even lesser knowledge than mine running Windows. What is the probability that I get into real trouble if I follow basic guidelines such as strong password, disabled root access for SSH, non-standard port for SSH, and possibly disabling password login and using one of fail2ban, deny hosts, or iftables rules? Put another way, is there some big bad wolves I should fear, or is it all mostly about shooing away script kiddies?
Emo SSH is one of the safest things to have listen on the open internet. If you're really concerned, have it listen on a non-standard high-end port. I'd still have a device-level firewall between your box and the actual internet and just use port forwarding for SSH, but that's a precaution against other services. SSH itself is pretty damn solid. I have had people hit my home SSH server occasionally, open to Time Warner cable. Never had an actual impact. Some additional things you can do to make SSH safer are prevent repeated attempts from the same IP address for a home machine, something like in /etc/ssh/sshd_config, which will restrict how many connections can be created in a row before logging in successfully. You can increase the security with fail2ban, which will help you notice and deny repeated offenders.
I also run a personal Git server that's open to the world on SSH, and I also have the same brute force issues as you, so I can sympathize with your situation. The FiddlerWinds has already addresses the main security implications of having SSH open on a publicly accessible IP, but best tool ammo in response to brute force attempts is fail2ban, software that monitors your authentication log files, detects intrusion attempts, and adds firewall rules to the machine's local iftables firewall. You can configure both how many attempts before a ban and also the length of the ban. My default is 10 days.
Setting up a public key authentication system with SSH is really trivial and takes about 5 minutes to set up. If you force all SSH connection to use it, then it'll make your system pretty much as resilient as you can hope to without investing a lot into security infrastructure. Frankly, it's so simple and effective, as long as you don't have 200 accounts, then it gets messy, that not using it should be a public offense.
Another way to handle this is to set up a VPN. Rather than connecting directly to SSH ports on your home server, you connect to the VPN first, then run all your traffic over the encrypted, secure connection. The ideal way to handle this is with a firewall that incorporates a VPN endpoint, but you can also set up a Windows computer to act as a VPN server. Here's an example. This URL. Now keep in mind that a proper security configuration would involve a public, or semi-public, computer that's isolated from your internal network. A web server, or any computer hosting publicly available services, should be outside of your home or office's secure network. You would use 2 routers to create a safe zone, or a DMZ, between you and the internet. This way, if your server is hacked, it can't be used as a vector to attack your other computers. So the setup would look like this.
If you want support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.